Hi everyone, Thao here. So this is the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra. It's Samsung's top-of-the-line Windows laptop that comes equipped with dedicated graphics for those who need more power. It also promises a more connected experience if you happen to own some of their other products too. I've been using this base configuration of the laptop for around 3 weeks now, and while there's a lot to like, there's also a few quirks and limitations you should know if you plan on picking one up. So a big part of this laptop's appeal is the thin and lightweight design. And I'll give Samsung a lot of credit. For a 16-inch laptop with respectable performance, it's impressive that this is only 16.5 millimeters thick and weighs just under 4 pounds. The all-metal build is solid. The design itself is super low-key with just a Samsung logo on the lid that's really only visible at certain angles. The graphite color is fine, but it does pick up more fingerprints than I'd like. You can open it comfortably with one hand, which is always nice. The hinge could be a little tighter because there is noticeable wobble when you're adjusting it, but in everyday use, it's not really a problem. My only issue with the port selection is that they didn't include a newer HDMI 2.1 port, and for a laptop geared towards content creators, not including a full-size SD card slot makes it feel like they don't really understand what content creators actually want. If someone asks me what my favorite thing about this laptop is, it's gotta be the screen. It's a 120Hz 16x10 2080 by 1800 AMOLED display with 415 nits of brightness and around 500 nits of peak brightness. Keep in mind, there's no touchscreen or S Pen functionality. That's reserved for the 360 models. It features all the things AMOLED is known for, including inky blacks, amazing contrast, and vivid colors that covers 100% of both the P3 and sRGB color space, making it very color accurate. It is a glossy finish, which is never going to be great for reflections or glare, but I do prefer it for creative work. Honestly, if you like the screens on flagship Galaxy phones, wait until you see this one. You're gonna love it. The rounded corners are also a nice touch that I don't typically see on very many Windows laptops. Now, burn-in is always a concern when it comes to AMOLED screens, so I wouldn't recommend cranking this to max brightness 24/7. Paired with that screen are quad AKG speakers found on the bottom. Placement isn't ideal, but because of the shape of the laptop, it does do a decent job bouncing sound off the table and filling the room. They won't blow you away, but sound decent for movies and music. So let's talk about this absolutely massive trackpad. It's been great to use, except from time to time, it won't be responsive to tiny movements. Like sometimes it takes like half a second before it registers that I'm trying to drag the brightness slider or scrub to a specific point while I'm editing a video. It's rare, but still annoying. Above it is a chiclet styled keyboard with 3 levels of backlighting. Here in Canada, we only get this bilingual English/French layout, which I'm not really a fan of. While I do like the numpad, it does feel kind of squished on here. Same with the function keys. I actually wouldn't mind if they shrank the trackpad a bit to give us full-size keys at the top. There's also a fingerprint scanner embedded into the power button that works flawlessly. Unfortunately, the 1080p webcam isn't Windows Hello compatible. Now let's talk performance. I'm not paying this kind of money for just a pretty looking laptop. Starting with video editing, I tried to edit some current projects I've got going on inside DaVinci Resolve. Nothing fancy, just some 4K 60 video clips with color correction and a few transitions. Unfortunately, I kept running into this error. DaVinci Resolve recommends 8GB of VRAM for smooth 4K video editing, and the RTX 4050 here only comes with 6. Basically, it'll handle 1080p video for days, but if you shoot in 4K, you can probably get by, but for more complex edits, you'll probably have to drop the timeline resolution for a smoother editing experience. This isn't your typical gaming laptop, but you can definitely game on here. Don't expect to play everything on ultra settings. That's just unreasonable for this entry-level graphics card. I've been able to run plenty of games on higher graphic settings at the native resolution, but for more visually demanding games, dropping the resolution or graphic settings is pretty much needed to get a playable frame rate. It won't look as good, but the bottom line is that you can play most AAA titles on this Galaxy Book, and that's not something I've been able to say about previous Samsung laptops. When you really push this laptop, the fans never really go much louder than 50 decibels, which is good, but it has this slight whining sound to it that might turn some people off. While gaming, the keyboard deck hovers around 38 to 40 degrees Celsius, so warm but still comfortable to use. Because the laptop pulls cool air from the bottom and has exhaust fans that get funneled downward due to the lid design, this isn't a laptop that you want to keep on your lap when gaming or doing anything slightly intensive. It's gonna overheat. So this laptop includes a variety of Samsung software to separate itself from other laptops on the market. You can enable a Samsung quick settings icon that lives in the taskbar. Clicking on it gives you faster access to tweak things like the screen's color mode, for example. Some of the shortcuts do feel redundant since there's already a keyboard shortcut, which I find much easier to use. There's like 11 or 12 pre-installed Samsung apps that have the potential to be very useful if you already use those services on your Galaxy phone or tablet. Having your notes, pictures, and passwords sync across all your devices is really nice for that continuity and just makes life a little easier. That's a big win for the Galaxy ecosystem. I've also been using the Galaxy Tab as a second screen for the laptop a lot. It's great for productivity, and because they're both AMOLED displays from Samsung, display quality is nice and consistent across both. But the reality is, you can use the second screen feature with any Windows laptop. It's not really exclusive to the Galaxy Book. Quick Share is really the most notable Galaxy Book exclusive feature. It's basically Samsung's version of AirDrop between Galaxy devices. It's perfect for sending smaller files like pictures. Larger files like videos can be a little hit or miss. When it works, it's amazing, but every once in a while, it'll get stuck while transferring. For what it's worth, I had the same issue with AirDrop, so yeah. There's a 76 watt-hour battery inside, and battery life has been average to slightly below average for me. Watching a movie for an hour on Wi-Fi at max brightness drained the battery by almost 20%, which translates to about 5 hours per charge. An hour of surfing the web with some word processing mixed in at 60% brightness ate about 14% of the battery, which will get you a little over 7 hours. Those aren't the greatest numbers, but that's the sacrifice they made to keep the laptop as thin and light as it is. I do like that the 100 watt charger is fairly compact and light too, so it's not such a pain to carry around with you. You can also use it to charge your phone, tablet, and earbuds, which is nice and convenient. So the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra brings a couple of things I've wanted to see Samsung offer in their laptops, like a better screen and dedicated graphics, making it more appealing to video creators like myself. For video editing, I still think a MacBook Pro is the way to go. But here's the thing. You can't really game on a Mac. So if you want something with a sleek premium build that can do a little bit of everything, this is worth considering. It's an interesting package with some drawbacks that may or may not be a deal breaker. We'll likely see sales on it, making it easier to look past some of the flaws, so I'd wait if you can. It'll be interesting to see what the Galaxy Book 4 Ultra looks like next year. I imagine they're gonna address a lot of the complaints I had with this one. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, I'm out of here. Bye!